I'm Faye Levi and I'm here to give you my 5 top tips to get more out of your social media for your marketing. So my first question is, why are you on social media? It's a question to ask yourself to try and help focus the efforts that you do, whether they're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or even in deciding which of those platforms and all the others out there you want to be on. If you're trying to get more people to come to your events, it's probably going to be a different approach to if you're trying to help manage people's customer service questions or help get into a conversation with your customers. Asking yourself the question just helps you plan the kind of posts that you want to be putting out there and helps you later on measure whether the posting you're doing is really heading in the right direction. A really important way of knowing whether you're in the right direction is really my second point. Who are the people you're trying to speak to? Are you trying to reach men or women? What sort of age group? Whereabouts do they live and what are they interested in? Tailoring your post so that you're speaking to those people will really help you feel very relevant to them. And if you're feeling as though, well, we're trying to reach everybody, chances are you're not really feeling that relevant to anybody, and trying to be all things to all men is going to just dampen your impact a bit. If you're not really sure who it is that you're speaking to, Facebook and Twitter can help. So Facebook has insights. When you go to your page, should give the option to look at insights. Similarly on Twitter, it's Twitter Analytics, and you can look on Hootsuite as well, which we'll talk about in a second. These tools can tell you who the people are who are coming to your page, their demographic information, how old they are, where they live. It'll tell you a little bit about their interests and other pages that they're following too, to give you a bit of a rough sketch. And if that profile doesn't really match the profile of the people you want to be reaching, hopefully you can take steps to address that. Point 3 then, knowing a little bit about your customer, you can also see when they're online so that you can be online at the same time and your posts are at the top of the newsfeed just when they're having a look on Facebook or Twitter, because you don't want to be down the bottom. So Facebook Insights and Twitter Analytics can tell you that information, tell you the time of day of the week that you want to be posting. Timing is also helpful when you're thinking about when to post. You can do your scheduling. You don't have to be posting every day. Facebook will allow you to schedule your posts instead in advance. Instead of choosing publish, just choose schedule. And on Twitter there is Hootsuite for Twitter. It's cheap or certainly free even in some cases, where you can program your posts, your tweets for later in the week or much further in advance, and it'll even use an algorithm to tell you when it thinks the best time will be to post them. So it's really helpful. So you've had an objective in mind, you know your audience, you know when they're going to be online, it's time to start posting. And you're going to need to get pretty creative if you want your post to stand out and grab attention. So images are just come to be expected these days. I think that's always what people want to see on their feed, particularly if you're going to be on Instagram. I'm in front of the camera right now. You could do the same, or you could get behind it and get some behind the scenes shots. Perhaps your event, you could get literally behind the scenes of the event, show people what's happening backstage. You could show people the production, meet the team, so people get a flavour of who the company is behind the Facebook page or the Twitter feed. If you want to have a conversation with your users as well, start asking polls, asking questions, encouraging them to speak so it's not just you. And consider whether you want to share or retweet content from other people, maybe a newspaper who's given you a great review or some other magazine who's talking about an industry topic. That way you become a curator and not just somebody who's always talking at their customers. So you're probably going to spend a bit of time and energy doing all those posts. Point 5 is make sure they're delivering what you set out to achieve. So go back to point 1 and check whether your posts are hitting your objective. So you could look at potential number of people you've reached or impressions, just number of times you could have appeared in someone's newsfeed. Or more importantly, you could look at the engagement. How many people did something with your content? Did they share, retweet, like, comment? That's what you want to be seeing, because it tells you A, whether your content was interesting, but B, whether you are also reaching beyond just your users. Because when you like or comment on something, the rest of your friends can see it, so not just the people who are following the page. If you want to try and do that but you're finding it's not really happening organically, you can also pay to promote your posts on Facebook and Twitter. So for as little as sort of £10, you could do an experiment to try and find people who are not just following your page, find their friends, find people who like the same things, and promoting it will allow you to reach those people. So those are my 5 points. Have an objective in mind, know your audience, know when they're online, get creative with your posting and monitor your posts to check that they're doing what you want them to be doing. So good luck, thank you for your time, and hopefully see you again soon. Bye.